Alright everyone, welcome back to the channel. We recently hit 50k, so I'm super grateful, and I made a post asking you guys for any questions you might have for me. I made a list, and I picked some to answer, so without further ado, let's jump into the first question. Anthony asks, how long have you been playing Phasmophobia in total, as in what date/year you started playing? I've been playing since almost the beginning. The game came out in September of 2020, and I bought the game around Halloween of that same year, and I've just been in love with the game ever since. This was literally my first time playing. That's the footage you guys are seeing right here. And I didn't even have a flashlight, and I was really scared, but once I got used to the mechanics, I loved looping ghosts and whatnot, so the game really grew on me, and the fear sort of diminished. Darshan Gopi asks, what would be your best tip on surviving the ghost for new players like me? Literally, here's what you do, alright? This is my best advice for practicing surviving. You ready? Let's assume you don't have custom difficulties unlocked yet. Don't add any items to the loadout, right? Just leave your starter items there. Go in on amateur or intermediate, pick up the cursed object, use it to start the hunts, and do this over and over and over again until you aren't scared anymore and are effectively flanking, looping, hiding, etc. Because even if you die, you wouldn't lose anything. It would be just for the purposes of practicing and overcoming the fear. Hell, put some music on while you do it. You walk in, turn on some lights, quickly look for any hiding spots, check for the cursed possession, start the hunts, do your best to loop, hide. If you die, no big deal. And then you repeat. It also helps to get some muscle memory too, because you're effectively building the habit of checking for the hiding spots and looping and whatnot, which is very important. Morton Torben asks, what mic do you use? I use an Audio-Technica 2020, and it's lasted me since like 2015 or so, but I am thinking about upgrading to a better mic at some point, so we'll see. Lizal Gaming 13 asks, I'm a beginner Phasmophobia player. What is the best way to get better from starting gear? I definitely understand this because Phasmophobia is not a beginner-friendly game. It can just be so overwhelming, but if you're a beginner, don't worry about ghost abilities. Don't worry about sound sensors or the paramic or the monitors or the boards. Just focus on playing intermediate or even amateur runs and just getting the ghost. Just to get a hang of the tools. The tier 1 tools are the problem. Even as an experienced player, they're just annoying to use. So be patient with the tools, make sure you have the right ghost room too. Orbs, Spirit Box, and UV are the easiest and most reliable to check for. You just pull it out, check it real quick, drop it. The book is easy, you just place it down in the ghost room. For the thermo, you just drop it in the ghost room and leave it alone, checking on it eventually. It just takes more time. I do have a beginner's guide. If you're curious about how to improve, you can check out that video. Zek Boy asks, what is in your opinion the best way to learn the ghosts and their behaviors in Phasmophobia? So I know videos can be helpful, that's mostly how I learned. I didn't actively study or anything, the knowledge just kind of accumulated over time by enjoying the game. But if you're serious about memorizing the different ghosts, I recommend setting up a custom difficulty with one evidence disabled, or even just doing nightmare mode. That way you're only working with a few ghosts at a time, and you can just use your notes or the journal to home in on those specific ghosts. And over time you'll be learning ghost traits little by little. So definitely 2 evidence runs, and then you can take more evidence away as you get more comfortable. Kaden Rivest 905 asks, congrats on hitting 50k, been watching you since 13k. Any tips on figuring out the difference between a Moroi and a Thaye on 0 evidence 0 sanity? Or is it always a 50-50 guess? It's definitely not always a 50-50 guess, there is one reliable trick to tell the difference. So to briefly recap, the Thaye's speed is based on its age, whereas the Moroi's speed is based on how low your sanity is. So when you first enter the map, the Thaye is going to be at its youngest and fastest at 2.75 meters a second. Unless you spend a lot of time in the ghost room, causing it to age and slow down. But if you're on 0 sanity, the ghost is going to hunt right away anyway. So if you get a Thaye, you're pretty much guaranteed to see it at its max fixed speed. And that's the key difference. The Thaye has a fixed speed. It does not speed up with line of sight. The only thing that can change its speed is spending a lot of time in the ghost room and causing it to age. The Moroi, on the other hand, will speed up with line of sight. Sammy asks, what has been your favorite Phasmophobia event since you started playing?
Whoa. Whoa. Yo. What the heck is this?
Definitely the Halloween 2023 event with the Maple Lodge revamp, and going to each map and figuring out which ingredients you need, and then gathering everything you need for the cauldron. The reason I like this event so much is because it wasn't just a matter of going around clicking totems or picking up the same item over and over. Each item was unique, and you had to find out what it was, make a list, and it ended up being more of something you had to solve. And I think similarly, the Point Hope Easter egg is in that same vein of being really good, because there's an actual puzzle involved, and I think we need more of that for events. Judah Clark asks, what do you think of the new update and how the perfect game works now? I think it's definitely a lot more fun to gather the different unique media options, because before it was basically just boiled down to getting the bone, spamming salt photos, and then getting a picture of the ghost if there was an objective for it. So I'm very much in favor of the direction the devs took it with the media update. The new interactions in general are so cool, and I don't know, I really love the new update. It'll just take some getting used to. Soph7606 asks, if you had to choose one mechanic or item to take out of the game, what would it be? Well, I wouldn't want to get rid of any of them, but if I had to choose, probably the sound sensor. I know that for multiplayer, the sound sensor can sometimes be helpful, but as a solo player, I would just never see myself using it over something like the thermo, EMF, paramic, or even the sound recorder to find the ghost. It just seems redundant in single player. War Tundra asks, how old are you, and do you think you'll start streaming your gameplay in the future? I'm 25 years old, and I don't want to guarantee anything, so don't hold me to this, but I would like to become more comfortable with eventually streaming. I am a bit nervous, so if I do stream eventually, I would probably practice first with friends and members, and then go from there. No guarantees, but we'll see. Nostalgia asks, are you ever planning on consistently uploading other games? I know you've made a few Demonologist videos, but other games could be fun too. Love your content. I've tried a few times, and I definitely want to branch out more again. I just don't want to give you guys a whiplash by uploading a completely random game. So I would at least stick within the ghost hunting genre or other similar horror games for now, I think. And then for games that are a bit less relevant to my niche, I would probably upload that to a second channel. LOL asks, how many years have you been playing Phasmophobia, and do you think you'll ever get bored of it? I've been playing on and off for about 5 years since the game was released, and I have gotten bored of it several times, but I still love it. Even if the gameplay loop gets tiresome for me, it's still often just a cozy way to unwind and have a good time, so I don't think I'll ever necessarily abandon the game, especially not with the direction the devs are taking it. I love what they're improving on, but there will be periods of downtime where I get burned out and there just isn't much new, but that would hopefully only be temporary. Snowfeather asks, what's your favorite and least favorite ghost? My favorite ghost is still the poltergeist, just due to the Polty explosion. I just love seeing everything fly everywhere. But recently the Mimic has been giving me some crazy runs just due to it mimicking something random like a Diogen or something. So I don't know, the Mimic might be on the same level as the Poltergeist. And my least favorite ghost is still the Goryo because of how hard it is to identify on zero evidence. Although the Shade has been giving it a run for its money, so that may change. Curbs9724 asks, did you have any video editing or media experience before YouTube? Or did you just learn as you went? So I had some passion projects that I'd work on with friends before I started my channel. That gave me some editing experience, just knowing how things should be paced and whatnot. And I also got some experience with like narration that way. So I wasn't going into YouTube completely fresh, but my content is mostly just cuts and occasional text. So the old skills did kind of transfer over a little bit. So this next question was asked by a lot of people. What was your motivation to create your channel? There was just kind of a culmination of factors. My passion for Phasmo obviously being one of the main ones. Me wanting to get more comfortable with recording and commentary, and friends encouraging me to go for it, and now we're here, and I couldn't be more grateful. And especially a big shout out to my friend StarKillerX. He's helped me in every step of the way, and I'm super grateful for that. If you guys want to check out his channel, I'll include a link below. He makes some pretty fun videos. Lo the Warrior asks, in a previous video you have mentioned that you have been feeling burnt out by Phasmophobia. With the new update, can you see yourself playing it more or trying other games out? Definitely both. This update has been awesome and it feels so refreshing to play Phasmo now. But I would also really love playing some other games to sort of balance things out and prevent that burnout that I experienced. I might just need to get some assistance with editing at some point so that content can be a bit more frequent, especially if I ever start streaming. VM Games asks, any tips for beginners who want to start their YouTube career? Anyways, love your content. So in a past Q&A, my biggest tip was to find something you're good at or passionate about and then use that to come up with ideas that help people. And that's still true. But I would also say to pick something that you know you can have fun with and that you can stick with for a long time. You have to believe in yourself too. I know that sounds cliche, but it's so true. If you don't think you can do it, then you'll always convince yourself you can't. And as a byproduct, you won't. What you believe about what you can and cannot do is so important, so be real in your content and don't try to compare yourself to others. And that's all the questions, guys. I really appreciate each and every one of you that left a question. Again, thank you for 50K. That's just a wild number. Here's to 100K. And I'm excited for what's to come for the channel. Again, thank you to all my members. I appreciate each and every one of you. And I will see you all in the next video.